What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Iccy Show. This is interview 609 interviews I've done. Give the three special guests we have from Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland. So give them a second to get on here and we will start this Iccy Show. If you want to be a guest, I'm booking until the end of December. So inbox your girl, Jackie Brown with 2 C's, I.E. Brown. All my interviews are $50 and we are international, not just local. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary. My condolences to anyone who has lost anyone. Thank you for all the prayers for my uncle. I appreciate every one of you guys. So give them a second to get on here. Peace, peace, everybody. Put your area codes, your countries you're tuning in from, so we can give you a shout out. I apologize about that. I hope everyone's having a blessed evening. Blessings, definitely. I am not too sure if Bible studies will be tomorrow. I will keep you updated. I will definitely keep everybody updated with the post. If anyone's looking for a Christmas tree, Groveland, Massachusetts has them at Donovan's Christmas Tree Farm. All trees are $80. The last day is Thursday this week to cut down your own tree if you're looking to cut down your tree. I hope everyone had blessings, holidays. Definitely, much blessings.
So you know these guys are little rookies at this, so we got to coach them in.
Okay. It should be in your notifications. So this is Boo Jones. We got him on here. We got to get the other two on here, so bear with us. So if you guys go to your notifications, it will tell you that it's you got asked to be added to a live. You guys have to just accept it.
Yeah. Okay.
What just happened? Unable to join because of technical issues. What is going on? Oh, God, help me today. The person is unable due to technical issues, it's saying. All right, let me see. Why is this doing this? He was just on. It's showing black on your screen. Okay. I got you back. I don't know. It's saying technical difficulties for them when I send it to them.
Yeah, I can't see you.
You can't see me?
Oh, it said joining.
Okay. Let me remove you and add you again. Hold on.
Let me just call them guys real quick and then tell them what to do and then add us again.
Okay. Got you.
All right, real quick.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're just having some technical difficulties. I apologize. He's gonna contact the other two, and then we'll get this interview cracking. I hope everybody is having a blessed day. Salute to everybody that did come out to the farm today, the Christmas tree farm. I appreciate everybody definitely that did come. It is in Groveland, Massachusetts, called Donovan's Christmas Tree Farm. If you're looking to cut down your own Christmas tree, all Christmas trees are $80. Doesn't matter what size you get, 12 feet, 9 foot, 6 foot, 3 foot, 2 foot, all are $80. We have 7 different kinds of pine trees that you could choose from. I'm telling you, acres and acres of land. So come on down, 12 to 4 tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Thursday is the last day that it will be open. What's going on, Antoine? Peace, peace. I hope you had a blessed holidays. I hope everything's going well with you. Long time. I hope everything's been well with you. Definitely. Also, the next interview is tomorrow with the BMG boys from Boston 617. And then the 30th with the one and only from Springfield, Massachusetts, Bonnie Stone. You don't know those artists, do your research to catch up. So when the interview comes on, you'll be on tune with everybody. And then December's already booking. So Antoine, if you're looking to get an interview, because you know it's been a long time, a couple of years with you, let me know. I got two more cancellations. And JC, when you getting on the Iccy Show, you told me, I'm telling you, I got 2 cancellations to you and Antoine. JC and Antoine, if you're looking for an interview, inbox me. I'll give you those 2 cancellation dates for December. Otherwise, I'm going into January. Okay, you sent a request. How come I didn't get it? God bless you too, Antoine. Definitely. My condolences. I know you've been going through some passings. Everybody is. I sent it to you and I'm sending it to them right now.
I'm in. I can't see you, but I'm in.
You can't see me?
Oh, you out again. But it seemed like all 4 was in at first. I don't know if you send it. I can see you now, but you're not moving. It's like a still picture.
Okay, so then that gotta be your internet. That gotta be your internet. Why you can't see me?
No, I can see you now, but it's like you frozen.
Antoine, am I frozen on your screen? Just okay, JC, I appreciate it. JC or Antoine, can you guys tell me if I'm frozen on your screen or not, please? You could just write it in the comment, please. Is it still frozen on your screen?
Yeah, yeah. You want me to go out and come back in?
He says it's not on his.
So you want me to go out and come back in?
You are moving. Okay, thank you, Calvin.
I can see
No,
you
it gotta
now.
be your.
I can see you.
It's your reception, so it got.
You good now.
Okay,
Can you hear
I
me?
gotta get them on here.
Okay,
Sorry,
you
guys.
good.
I'm trying to get everybody on here. That is supposed to be on here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you both. Definitely on that. If you want to try to send me the invite, because I'm sending Jerome right now, it says can't be added, technical difficulties. Calvin, the same thing is coming up on when I send it to you. Oh, Calvin, it's going through now, but I need you to accept it. It's going to be in your notifications. Jerome, it's telling me technical difficulties. All right, welcome. We got Calvin. Welcome to the Iccy Show. I appreciate you. Definitely. We're having some technical difficulties, but I'm trying to get you all on here. We're going to get it happening. Okay, so Jerome, you got to accept it. So this is Calvin. Okay, here we go. We got all of you in now. All right.
Oh, wow. Well, look at
here. I can't see them though, but
all right.
All right. So we got Boo Jones in the building. We got Calvin in the building. Let them know who is Calvin so everybody is aware. And then we got Jerome on the next column right there. Welcome to the Iccy Show. I appreciate you all coming on here. Sorry about the technical difficulty.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for having I can't see them, but you frozen, so it might be on my end. Can y'all guys see me?
Yes, he's in here, but he's saying that he can't see it, so it's gonna be yours because you were saying we were frozen a little while ago, and it was yours because they were putting in the comment.
Well, I can't see you guys, but I can hear you. But
okay, as long as you can hear us, we can see you. So don't touch your picture because we can still see you on the screen.
All right.
Okay.
Start. All right,
guys. So welcome.
Yay!
Welcome to the Iccy Show. I finally got you all here. I appreciate you.
No
All
problem.
right.
Right.
And
Thanks for having us.
we're gonna start with Calvin. Calvin, what made you start to get into the music industry?
He not, hold
For the people that
let me introduce you. So they're not doing what I do. So let me introduce you to these guys. So we can be on the same page. All right. Kevin does videography. He does art through videos
yeah, that's what that my job is to interview them. That's my job. So
oh
yeah,
no, but they're not into music though. You said what got them into music? They
wait,
not doing music like me. That's what I was saying.
I know. Okay, so I was gonna let him tell me a little about him. So continue. It's okay. We only
Okay.
got a half hour because I got my uncle in ICU. So that's
Oh,
all I
wow.
can do right now. So he's on life
Great.
support.
Um,
Um,
Great.
so this is Calvin Ruffin the third, and my other partner is Jerome Kennedy, and we collaborate to make a a a a podcast for the world, but basically to tell it about our experience in the DMV. And Jerome came up with the name, so we are
The DMVers.
okay, okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so Kelvin, what made you start to get into it?
Well, okay. Do my voice, y'all. Calvin Ruffin II. I'm a writer, director, filmmaker, um, and I make a short story.
Oh, wow. You just, hey, booby.
It's a short story, man. I got into this at probably second or third grade. I've been into just loving films. It was that young I started wanting to do it, right? So I made a couple of indie films on the streets and things like that. Then I went to college for filmmaking. Went up to New York. I worked for Spike, John Singleton, people like that. So but I'm still, DMV at heart. That's where my whole allegiance is. That's where so many stories need to be told. That's what I want to do. So that's my story in a nutshell. And again, I want to say much prayers to you because what you said is real. I know your time is short, but hopefully we can do this again when you have enough time. So I want to pass the mic to whoever else you want to talk because that's very serious you're dealing with, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll get them in there. I want to know what kind of movies have you done that you filmed for, and are you looking to do more projects? And if so, are you looking to do music videos or actual movies?
Yeah, I've done a few music videos when I was in college and things like that. That's not really my lane as far as that. That was something just to get my feet wet in that because when I was in college, that stuff was big. I've done urban films, street films, things like that. But I've evolved over the years, Jackie, honestly. So I'm into my real thing is TV series type stuff now. It's that type of stuff, those sort of like serial series, the ones that just go on and on and on. That's my real interest right there.
Okay, okay. Have you ever thought of going to New York to reach out to some of the producers that do like Power or Weeds, the web series Weeds? Have you ever thought of that?
Well, I actually lived there in the late 90s and 2000s. I lived in New York, Harlem, Bronx, all those places. And I was doing that. Like I said, I worked for Spike and them up there and some other directors. So I went that route. But Hollywood is really a money-based business. So it's like you going up there, you can do that, but it's still the same thing. You can pitch something from anywhere, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, congratulations, and I hope that to see you. I would love to follow some of the work you already done. I would like to go check it out and be a fan of yours. And if there's any time you have something going on for a promotion, you need a platform to come on, you're welcome to come on the Iccy Show and talk about it, to promote it, any shows or anything like that.
Okay, I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. So would you be willing to do a documentary? Because that is kind of something.
I follow you. That's sort of what we do here. So the three of us are doing that, right? It's like they're mini docs, but that's what we're doing. I mean, that whole thing you're saying, that's sort of what we do with our show, right? And hopefully we can tell you more about that as much as we can tonight. But again, like I said, I know your time guys out.
Well, I appreciate you, Calvin. We're going to go to Jerome right now. Jerome, welcome to the Iccy Show.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me, Icey.
you're very welcome. You're very welcome. What made you start to get into this industry?
Well, I took this in college, communications, so I was always somewhere involved, like with TV and radio, usually behind the scenes. I did some airtime on the radio for a short time with WYCB back in the day. And, I always had communications in me, but, I took a different route. I currently do outreach now, so I'm out in the streets daily doing outreach, trying to save lives on a daily. So
Well, thank you.
I'm usually out on the streets every day, in some dangerous neighborhood.
Wow.
But however, that's what I do currently. So I work for DC government. So yeah, I do outreach currently, but I kind of got back into this, when I linked up with Calvin and, we started talking about doing a few things. And then he actually interviewed me for the Go-Go Round Table in reference to, the culture of go-go. So that's where it kind of got me started again. So we did a great interview on that, and it was pretty good. And then we decided let's make my own show, which is Take a Ride Through the City with Jerome Kennedy. So that's pretty much based on like I'm looking for folks who have walked the life, who lived in DC and who are still here to talk about it. So, meaning walk the life is like you've seen it all, now you can tell it all. And we're trying to basically do this so we can reach the youth a bit, you know what I'm saying? So it can kind of like reach them a bit and, give them some stories and so they can realize what they're doing today. It's like it just goes around in a circle. It's been done before and it's still going on. So we're just trying to reach people and let them know, that we just doing some like art is activism, as Calvin always
Yes.
says, you
Yes.
know. And so that's really much the key. And yeah, that's my story. And then we also, I know we are limited on time, but we also came together with the collaboration for the DMVs. But we know we limited on time, so we can get to that another time, I guess. But that's how all three of us actually can. And I know Boo. I met Boo through actually doing outreach. He used to come to my office often. Because he works in one of the psychiatric places that we take some of our patients and stuff. And so yeah, that's how me and Boo met. But Boo's connected to the whole city, so
Yes. It's
and,
connected.
and so is Calvin, really. So I look, I'm blessed to know these two guys. You see what I'm saying?
I like.
Yeah, so I'm blessed to know both of them.
I love it. I love what you're saying about, being, reaching out to the youth. That's important because nowadays the youth is starting so young and getting younger and younger, and it's sad. And, we need people like yourselves. And, I reach out to the youth. Half of the stuff I do, it's because of the youth, because, we need someone to do it. If we don't have, say, if you have 100 people, probably maybe 5 to 10 out of the 100 is going to reach out to the youth. Otherwise, they're not going to care. They're too busy. They're doing their whatever they're doing. But it's sad because we are the teachers for this generation that is underneath us, and we need
Absolutely.
a difference. And I commend you guys doing that because we need more people like yourselves. And I'm from Boston area. You're from Maryland. You're from Virginia. You're from Washington D.C. And we need more people around the world to step up and reach out to these youths, get them off the streets. I know all the businesses are closing for these youths, which is a big problem. And, parks are closing. So there's nothing for these kids to do. And it's sad because, kids are getting robbed for their bikes. They can't even ride a bicycle without getting, the beaten up for their bike. And it's sad. It shouldn't be like that. And how long you been doing it, you said, sir?
What the outreach thing?
Yes, yes.
No, I've been sheesh, 10 years at least or better.
What
Well,
made
I did. It's funny because I work for Department of Human Services, so I actually did the homeless side, and now I work for Department of Behavioral Health. So I'm actually doing the outreach side now. So it's one big huge community. They both go together hand in
right?
hand. You have the homeless folks, and then you have them with mental issues.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like go hand in hand because you see the same folks in both communities. So You know, if you're homeless, there's a reason you're homeless because there's got to be some mental issues going on. You
Right,
see what
right.
I'm saying? So that's what we do. Well, that's what I do on a daily. So I'm out in the streets like
She said
literally every day.
proud of you because Shaw Burns
Yeah.
said she
Thanks, cuz. Thanks, cuz. Yes, my cousin, Shaw.
and
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you for
yeah.
your service. And Bobby says, hey, baby Rome, Bobby Trap,
Oh, that's Booby. That's my girl. Get well, Booby. Get well. I'm praying for you, baby.
bless
You know I'm you in my prayer. Just call me if you need anything. You know how we do. Yeah.
that's
So
lovely.
that's literally what I do, you know, every day out on the streets and
Is there
it's just I'm out there.
is there anything that made you, say, dang, I don't know if I could do this anymore? Like any real heartbreaking stories that like you went home and it just like ruined your whole day, the rest of the day?
Yeah. Seeing people that you know, seeing people that you know on a regular, seeing people die in front of you, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it get a bit heart wrenching because and you know, to do this type of job, you have to really have thick skin, but you have to also have a heart as well because you see a whole bunch of things every day, you know, and it's like Jesus. But I guess the most heart wrenching thing I think when I see people that I personally know,
Yeah,
and I
that's
see that a lot, and then you know people know you and they be like, you know, they you know they feel ashamed or they embarrassed and stuff like that. So you have to let them know that hey man, come on man, you can get yourself together. We're here to help. You know, you just gotta want the help. You know, you gotta want to help yourself. You know, you gotta want to just. I had enough. You know, and you know go on and get on out the rain. You know what I mean? As I call it, you gotta come on out the rain. You know, and just get that help. But you know, in certain instances, sadly, you know, it's like a revolving door as well. So
well, I
you know,
I appreciate you doing that. I know that can be heartbroken, especially, like you said, people passing away in front of you. So I thank you very much for what you're doing, and you know, keep on going. Anytime I can help you with promoting anything or anything for your new shows, let me know. I'll be glad to help you. Or if anybody goes missing that you're working with and you need to share, tag my page. I'll tell my assistants to let it go through the page. I'm always sharing missing people. Unfortunately, they don't do the milk cartons anymore, which I wish they would bring back. But they
yeah,
can't.
I know that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it helped. I really think it helped by
Yeah,
having.
yeah. I mean, you know, you know, this is a tough town, so you know. But I mean, everywhere is terrible now, so it's not just Washington
Right,
D.C. or the
right.
DMV area. It's just it's in the suburbs now, so it's you know, it's literally everywhere. So you know, I try to do my part, you know, and you know, that's all I can do really.
Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate. I'm gonna move on to Boo Jones, the one and only,
Oh,
right here.
boo boo.
So welcome back to the Iccy Show. You brought some special guests over here, and I salute to you what you're doing. I love how you're doing the podcast. I love how you expanding it. When are you gonna air your new podcast?
I don't want to give it away, but it'll be before the end of the year.
Okay.
So we'll let you know in advance. And thank you for having us on here. And I was trying, and I actually forgive me because I was trying to just give an interlude to the guys and let you know we definitely not doing the same thing, but we doing the same thing. If you know
Right,
what I
right.
mean. Yeah,
No, I like
you know,
I
huh?
like I like what you're gonna do. My question is, what is gonna be is it topics to everyone, or is it you're gonna hit, mainly the youth when you do your talks and your interviews, or what do you plan on focusing on?
Well, we're gonna talk about a lot of different things, but the goal is the same: to change the culture. And we'll talk about some of the good things we already have that people are throwing the baby out with the bathwater type stuff. We don't want that. We want to bring back some of the good qualities and principles we had that was working. So we want to get the kids back on that because we got all the track off track, during the 80s and 90s. was like the big explosion, like the atomic bomb with the crack era. It got most communities, especially in the city, off track. So we try and get back on track. And like Kevin said, we're using this as art, our art as activism. And
Yeah.
that's greatly said, and that's the goal, do some soul winning. Me and you talk,
Yeah.
it's about soul winning.
Yes. I love it. I really do. I commend you. So that's gonna be like a life of 24/7 of your job, Boo Jones, right there. Um, bringing it, expanding it after your work hours. That's how I would explain it. But we need
Well,
more
I'm
people
blessed.
like
I'm
that.
blessed to work in my purpose because I work in substance abuse and psych, so I work in my purpose too. So this, man, is wonderful.
Yes, definitely. And we need more people that have podcasts that can do that. Like you two are in this already, so you know how to reach out to those people. And now you guys will go internationally, not just local. So, that's good because we need more people. Like I say, we need to reach out to this youth. This youth is, the drill music made them go crazy. Unfortunately, and that's all they think. They don't know about 80s music. They don't know about 70s music or 90s. You mentioned TLC, they look at you like you have 10 heads. And it's sad because it's like, when we were growing up, we didn't listen to cuss music. All we had was the oldies on, or Elvis Presley or Frank Sinatra. That's what I grew up on. And it's like these kids don't even know Frank Sinatra. I'm like, these are legends. And they look at me like I'm crazy when I say it. And it's sad because it's like, this drill music is just a phase. It's just going to go in and out. But a lot of people, how do you say it? They conclude their life on it and really on it. And it's like, there's other beautiful music out there, different arts. You have country, you have soul, you have R&B. And, I feel like this is a great positive note, what you guys are going to do with the podcast. And, we need more, people like yourselves to reach out that is just not a mind, but you reach out to their soul that you can make a difference and direct them which way to go. Different states you guys are in, which is amazing. So you're catching the East Coast. You guys on East Coast, right?
Yes,
Yes.
and
So
like
you're getting the whole basically East Coast, which is amazing to start with. That's strong. So imagine how many people that are out there already doing it that can combine with you guys to make it like a organization that can go internationally, and you guys could travel different states to help out. That would be awesome.
But like Jerome was alluding to, even though we're doing it in the DMV, because that's the DC, Washington metropolitan area. Even though we're doing it in that area, it's just a seed there that's going to branch out to the world. That's how I look at it, and that that's the goal. It's not just for that area, but we're gonna be planting the seed in this area to expand to the world.
That's awesome. Salute, definitely all three of you. I'm proud of you. I got DJ Black on here. He's in the hospital tuning in. He's from Boston, 617. But his blood pressure's through the roof right now. I hope you feel better. Definitely. Thank you for tuning in on the Iccy Show, DJ Black. We appreciate you.
And get well, DJ Black.
Definitely.
Praise,
So, are you guys?
brother.
I have a question to ask you. Are you guys gonna do the setup kind of like this, or you guys will be in person?
I think it would be like this. It'd be similar to this. Kevin, he the guy for that. He can answer that question.
Yeah, it'll be similar to this type of panel thing with us. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's good. And now you being the producer, Calvin, are you going to be doing like a commercial for it and things like that?
Yeah, we're gonna run trailers. Probably close to the week of it coming. That's when we usually just blitzkrieg the net so people know that we're coming, and so they'll definitely have some beforehand notice. Yeah.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I want to interject something. You asked Kevin earlier about the documentary. We already put it out. So Kevin is doing a documentary on my life.
Oh, okay. So he's the producer right there.
Yeah, it's him.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's awesome. So salute to you. Take it. Did you already film it?
No,
Well,
we got
we're still in production phases. You know, we got past pre-production, we're in production now. So that's an
Okay.
important project to us. So we really want to. We're taking our time to really do it and represent him properly because you know it's a story somebody else should have long since done it. I'm just blessed to be able to do it myself because I'm like it's a big opportunity for me to show Northern Virginia the type of respect they've long since deserved. Long since. I mean, it's like, anyway, I don't want to go down that road. That's another interview, but he deserves the interview on that too, Jack. So you got to get back with him and talk about that for sure.
Definitely, definitely. Um, like when did you go to college to become a producer, or did you just start doing it?
No, I was in the streets first as far as filmmaking, right? Then I realized that I had to go to school for it because I mean it just wasn't as simple. A lot of people think these these arts, whether it be singing, whether it be Boo can tell you from Go Go, everybody thinks they'll see him rap and they'll say, "Well, I can get up there, I'm gonna talk," and then they grab the mic and realize it's a craft, right? So I had to get some respect for what was happening because you know. So I went down to Norfolk State. At the time, we were the third ranked mass comm department in HBCUs, right? Of course, Howard was number one. So I got some training with that. And then, you know, like I said, I went up to New York straight out of college and learned a few things. So yeah, you got. I don't know what people think. I mean, it's not as complicated as the structure tries to make it seem, but you still need some training because it's language. It's a lot of things you have to learn about doing it properly, right? So yes, I did. I went to school for it.
That's good. Salute to you, definitely. I didn't go to college for it, and RIP Don Hazel. He was a producer of Don Hazel, the gangster movie. I'm an actress in it, and he taught me,
Okay.
how to be an actress. He was my role model to teach me which way. I was always 9 months we filmed for that movie. You can check it out. It's on YouTube. It's a free movie, Don Hazel, the gangster movie. And check it out. It's about 45 minutes long, but I mean, the experience was awesome. He he was a legend from Boston. He put a lot of, different gang members or affiliated people in the movie. There was never a fight on set, never a fight at the red carpet, which was a great feeling because I was nervous a little bit filming, a violent movie, but it was fine. And it was amazing because I learned how to be an actress. You think it's easy, just take a recording and that's it. But when you got to learn lines and you got to act at the same time. It's multitasking. You can't multitask. Yeah, acting's not for you at all. I'm just saying. But but
everything. Everything's an art. Everything in life is an art, and everybody needs to be trained by somebody who knows how to train people.
yes,
So that's anything.
yes, and it felt good getting trained by a OG because it's like he's been through it and he never went to school for acting, but he's amazing. Like artists in Boston will reach out to him just to be there to do a music video for them, to be the you know, set everything up, which way to go and where should the camera person be. He was precise to everything. And he got a lot of respect from all the hoods in Boston because what he did. And I could see all of you guys, reaching out to different, states and state representatives, how you guys can, make it a tour and travel, to reach out to the youth, hit the middle schools, hit the elementaries to middle schools, the high school people too. But we got to start younger because the younger is what's taking over the street. 18-year-olds okay to shoot and kill somebody because they know they're going to get out soon. That's not okay, and we got to change that. For an 18-year-old to think like that and think that's okay, that's not okay, and it's sad because they're thinking for safety, protection, all of that in once. How do you guys feel about that? We'll start with you, Calvin.
I don't know. I mean, it's like yeah, I'm in total agreement with you about going to the young because by 18, some of them are actually already set, so they're harder to reach than the ones who, like you said, in elementary and middle school and stuff like that, because that's where we can still sort of reach them. you know. But by 18 to 21 now, you got a real monster right there. So I don't know. So but I'm with you about the youth for sure. That's I know that's our target. Like with all the stuff we're doing, that's our real target.
Yes. You know what kills me too, and then I'll let you go, answer the question. Is why did they get rid of DARE programs, and why did they get rid of health classes? Two major things that I think are very important for the youth, elementary. You know, you got to start young. These kids are getting their monthly thing early than, you know, when I was going to school. And I'm wondering if it's stress. You know, they're under so much stress that it's bringing it on. And, you know, it's sad because, you know, technology is making them fast forward their life and not slowing them down. And it's like they don't know how we used to be in school. We would sit there with a piece of paper and write the math problem out. These kids just, they can look on the computer, pop it up, boom, pass it in. And it's like, you know, they're not learning. They don't get books. They get everything on the computer. And it's like, go back to the pencil, like I tell a rapper or a artist, go back to the pencil and paper, notebooks, and write your lyrics out instead of just going to the cell phone and just typing it all out. It's like you don't have that memory. Like I have all my interviews on my books. I keep them all listed, every date, the number, everything. I have books on everything. But artists, I tell them, go back to the old school, pen and paper. You know, they don't want to listen to me. They think, oh, you're old school. I said, no, it worked and it still works, you know. They don't get it. Jerome, the question's for you. How do you feel?
I feel
About the
that
same
the youth
question
today are, now, what was the question again? Let me just make sure I got it clearly.
about the
You
youth.
kind of breaking up.
Yes, about the youth. You know, should we start younger, you know, in the schools, and per se the
Okay,
high
so
school.
here's my
So the
thing. Here's my thing. Okay, I think we should start as young as possible. But here's my problem with the youth. You know, you got the youth having babies at an alarming rate. That's where the key problem is, in my opinion. So the problem is that, okay, you having kids at an alarming rate. So how does a kid tell a kid what to do? Like when we came up, we had a mother and a father in the house, totally different era. So now you may have just a mother with 4 or 5 kids, maybe with 4 or 5 different baby daddies. And, you know, by the time the kid is probably between 5 and 8 years old, if you don't get him by then, if he reaches 10 to 12, he's carjacking you.
yeah,
So my thing is that, and the problem with that is because how does the mother get control of him when she doesn't even have control because she's a kid? You understand what I'm saying? So that's
yeah,
my whole take on the situation. So it's a terrible cycle we're living in right now, and it's throughout the country. So it's really going to be hard to get control. You can, if you can get a couple, you really doing good because these kids are so fast, they're so grown acting, and they got too many things just pushing them at a fast rate. Social media, they're able to get their hands on guns. You can get a gun before you can get a date these days. Jesus, as
yeah,
terrible as that sounds. But my thing is that, you know, and then it may be an environment that they're growing up in. So the environment is going to dictate everything. You going to school, you broke, you got dirty clothes on, kids are going to laugh you out. You're not going to go to school anymore. You're going to start hanging on the corner with your buddies, smoking dope, selling dope, getting a little money, brandishing a pistol or something to protect yourself. And you out there now. You out
right,
there. In your mind, you're a certified gangster.
right,
You're listening to this rap music, which is very influential.
right.
I mean, very influential. I can't lie to you. As a youngster, I loved it too, beating my head in and, you know, all that crazy mess. So with that intertwined, you know, it's really hard these days. And then we don't have a lot of programs, you know, to save the youth. Like when we were coming up, we had Big Brother programs. We had programs for the youth recreation centers, things of that nature. So it's like they're taking all of that out. so the youth don't have it. And then here's the number one thing that's really taking kids out: these video games.
Yeah.
I swear to you, these video games are cold killers.
Yeah.
They're killing the kids. Kids don't even play sports no more because they on the video game so hard. you know, you know. I walk in the room, dude, like, ooh, I dunked all over him. I'm like, what? He's like, on the video game. I'm like, oh, so,
I
Yeah. I
so, so, with these kids having kids at an alarming rate, if you can find a way to slow that down, that would be a cure to some of the problem. But if you ain't gonna slow that down, then these kids are literally raising themselves in the streets.
do
And
you
we
think
all know these streets have an expiration date.
right, right. Do you think that if they brought sex ed back to these schools that it will slow down the pregnancies so such a young age? Do you think that would help?
Well, you got to get them to go to school first.
Yeah.
They don't even go to school anymore. You feel me? So my thing is that it's just crazy because I see it every day, and I live still in D.C. in the heart, Southeast Washington. So
See it.
I see a lot and then just doing my outreach thing, because I'm usually going to some rough neighborhood daily. So, you see it, you just see it, and you got to be cautious, and you got to be careful, and you got to be smart, and you got to know how to move. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I mean, it ain't easy, but it got me to 60 years old, so I'm grateful,
Wow. I
especially in this town.
yeah,
hey,
I definitely appreciate you, reaching out and, letting us know because, someone could be tuning in on here that can make a difference and join you guys so you can make it bigger. That's what I really hope to do. Anyone that's tuning in that can make a difference and join this team right here because we need more people like these three gentlemen right here on the Iccy Show because look it, Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Those are three major states on the East Coast. And then, like myself, but I don't go like what you see on a daily basis. I go to the parks. And if I see them being a bully, I go up to them and I talk to them and tell them it's not okay. If they're robbing someone for a bike, it's not okay. And, picking on a kid, that's not okay. We need people, like your neighbor used to watch out for your kids. Do you do something wrong? Your neighbor would be like, hey, I'm going to catch you. I'm going to let your parents know. Or, it's not me being a snitch. It's me helping these kids that don't have a parent that's taking control of their own child. And it's, I had someone say that, oh, you're a snitch doing that. How am I a snitch? I'm not going to the police. I'm not going there. I'm helping the child as it's happening right then and there.
And you
And,
got you got to be careful with that too. Now, you know what I mean.
right.
You
I
just
don't,
have to be because these kids today, I mean, they all seem to have guns.
right. And it's true. It's true. And a lot of these kids, when I go up to them, they go, they'll tell me, thank you, I appreciate it, because I'll always see them at a corner store or somewhere I know they'll be hanging out to see if they went back to being bad or do they make a turn a little bit. And, um, you know, a young one was stealing food, a snack at the convenience store, and it's my friend's convenience store. And he was going to call the cops. I said, don't call the cops. I'm going to talk to him outside. I said, he's so young. He's probably about 10, 11 years old in there, just stacking his pockets with all snacks. You see it loading up on his pockets. And it's like, I'll pay for it. And he goes, no, he'll never learn. I'm gonna talk to him outside. I'll pay for what he's stealing. You got everything. He got the big camera. As soon as you walk in, you're on the camera. And you can zoom in right by his side. I said, I'm going to talk to him. So I paid for it and I went outside. I said, listen, I know your pockets are filled with food. I paid for everything for you, but do me a favor. Next time, don't steal it because I don't want to see you behind a police station. I said, out here, they can charge you at 13 years old and put you in a behind on a police car. I don't want to see that. If you don't have food, ask someone that's an adult for help you, or
Excuse me.
something. That's what you got to do. And these kids are so scared to reach out to an adult because what their parents has taught them. And that's sad, because it's like we should be able to help one another. For food, we're being greedy over food. No, like I always tell people, if you're in the store and there's a young one behind you, pay for his snacks. What is $3 coming out of your nicotine or whatever you're getting behind the counter, And they look at me and they sink it in, and then I'll see people do it, and it's like, I hope that they're passing it to other people, you know.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah.
Boo Jones, what about you? How do you feel about the youth? Do you think that the schools, should bring back sex education in the DARE program? Do you think that will help out?
I mean, I think that's part of it. Well, my view of it is coming from a skill set. Um, I think that everyone should play their position in this battle, right? Because we all have a skill set. We can reach certain people, right? My thing is the adults. Um, I I've seen lives change. I've seen people who are older and people that old myth that they can't change and can't teach an old dog new tricks and all that stuff. I don't. That's a lie, because I changed. So I know it can be done, and I've seen it in countless people's lives, and that's my lane. My lane is the adults, but the whole thing is geared towards the kids, because if
Yeah.
the kids, let's say the kids learn everything perfectly, they all the racks open back up. They bring back all the sex education. They bring back home ec. They bring back all the good stuff, and then the kid go home and the parent out of order.
Right.
So, my calling is the adults
Yes.
that trickle down to the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if some of the adults' life change, then maybe they can start teaching their children better. You know,
Yes. I
uh,
yeah. Hey, it does. It comes down to the adults teaching your own children. That's why we have kids. It's our responsibility to train our kids. We are their boot camp. Like right from wrong, left from wrong. We are their boot camp. I always say, if you have a kid, you are that boot camp. You gotta put things in check, and that's the technology's taking over all these children, and it's just coming rapidly to them. And like you brought up a good thing about the guns. It's sad. It's sad that they can go on the internet and get a gun shipped. I think that's absurd. I think that's crazy. I think.
but that's like what we do with Go Roundtable and the DMV is um, art as activism is bringing some principles and morals back.
Yeah.
You know, that's not popular now, but they work.
Mhm.
I mean, you look at guys just right here on this panel. These two guys and myself, man, we came through. Some of the roughest neighborhoods in the United States, and we was able to go through what we had to go through and learn to do it better now. So it can be done. I don't believe in once this, always this, and all that stuff. So that's what my view is about it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. We're gonna start with you, Boo Jones. Any shout outs, or give them all your social media where they could book you, and are you still doing music?
Right now, I'm in hyenas with running SRB band right now, but who knows? I can't say never. Um, I do things with other people too when it come down to music, but and may throw some events soon. But right now the focus is motivational speaking. I'm talking other than my job, motivational speaking, um, doing the podcasts, and just being of service. That's other than my family. Family, I got to do that, but all of it. That's what my goal is going forward.
Well, that's amazing, definitely. And I was gonna say to you, how about, you know, just putting managing artists, and then you just focus on the podcast and your home life. But I could definitely see you become a manager.
I was managing. A lot of people don't get it. I was managing my own band. I was managing. Uh,
But
that's why I stopped doing it.
not performing
A
though.
lot
Like
of people ask me to manage them. Nah,
no,
that's
when I'm saying
that was the part.
no, when I'm saying a manager, like being just a manager, you know,
No, that's
not
what I
to.
was telling you. That's what I was telling you. My passion is entertaining. I did the managing part because couldn't trust nobody. Wouldn't nobody do right. But the management part is what I don't want to do. I don't want to be obligated to dealing with all those personalities and people not having the same principles and morals I got. And I'm the one got to do the time, the money, the organizing, everything, and that ain't fun.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I started doing it. I created the band to entertain. Period. Not to manage.
okay, okay. I understand that definitely. I used to, you know, manage a lot of artists and having the nightclubs and hosting shows and all that. I understand the stressful. You know, but focus on you and do whatever makes you happy. Don't, you know, you're doing it for the entertainment, but don't be miserable doing something just to make someone else happy if it's not making you happy, because that's not self-love to yourself first. You know, you're doing it to make other people happy, and you should be making yourself happy first.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, I reiterate, the management part is the headache. The entertainment part is a joy, and that makes me happy. So I'm not just saying to make other people happy. It makes me happy when I see other people partying and stuff. So I'm happy with that part. But the management part, man,
The
I
head,
wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I know, I know it's a big headache, definitely. What about you, Jerome? How do you feel that, you know, joining this, doing this podcast, and, you know, being an advocate, do you feel like it's going to make an impact in the, you know, I'm going to say the world, because I feel like you guys are going to go bigger. You're not going to just stay local. I feel like once you guys start getting out there, I think more people are going to join your team and make this a big thing.
I feel like it's gonna get bigger and better eventually. You know, we're just starting out, but you know, with Calvin, you know, because he has a lot of projects in the burner, so you know, we just keep filming and filming and just putting things away and putting it away, and you know, in time we just gonna pop out with stuff. I mean, I'm excited about my show, Take a Ride Through the City. I'm currently still interviewing Calvin, you know, because he's one of my guests, and I got folks lined up as well that I will be interviewing in the future. And
Yep.
also with the DMVers, I'm excited about that because, you know, with these two brains, along with myself, you know, you know, we're gonna cover every crack and crevice in the DMV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, if I think with all three of us somehow we could all connect hands through the DMV. You know what I mean? So, you know, because I don't think with all three of us, it's not a person that we don't know. We don't know them, then somebody knows them that knows them, and you know can go on and on and on. So I think with the you know with the platform Calvin has given us, you know, especially by most of our stuff going on YouTube, you know, people are going to see it, and you know, hopefully it'll reach the youth that we are targeting, and maybe some of their parents mostly, because they can really see it, and then they can, hey boy, sit down, girl, sit down, listen to what these guys are saying right here, because you know what you think you're doing, you ain't doing nothing, and you know, and we in hopes of that, and then you know, reach some of the adults as well, you know, and then some of the people that we're going to be interviewing, you know, they've had some hella walks in DC and Maryland and Virginia, so they get to tell you their stories, and you know, it could be pretty eye opening for you know a lot of folks.
Well,
So yeah, we doing some good work. We doing some good work. As a matter of fact, I think we need to get you on the DMVers.
oh
How
yeah, I'll
about
be glad to be
that
on
one? How
there.
about
Yes,
that
I
one?
would love. Yeah, I love.
Yeah, you owe so you owe us one now. How about
Yeah,
that one?
let me
So
know.
we're
You
gonna
know.
flip this back and we're gonna get you on the DMVs so you can
Yeah,
tell us a little about yourself and the Boston baked beans up there and those old Boston Celtics. I'll cut it out. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it if you think it's gonna make a profit. It's not gonna do it.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
look. Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this.
Stop
Those
it.
two guys like the Lakers. These are
Oh,
two Lakers lovers.
look here, it's showtime, baby. You already know.
Wow.
So me and
It's
Jackie,
showtime. I mean, how
we
can
Celtic fans.
if
We
you are
Celtic.
in your right
Celtic.
mind, how can you not like the Lakers? Oh, I rest my case, Your Honor.
Well, Celtics, they were the best when we had Pierce, we had when we
Yeah.
had Pierce, when we had the three oh what
Uh,
Paul
you're making
Pierce,
my heart hurt. You're making my heart hurt. Stop it.
See, hey,
that's
look,
You're
when we
killing
look,
me over here.
I'm a real Celtic fan. I was a
You're
Celtic fan
killing me over here. You're killing me over here.
before Larry Bird. I'm a real Celtic fan.
Cut it. Now, how did you do that to yourself, Boo Jones?
That's the first
I don't
team I
understand
ever
that. What happened to
liked.
you? Well,
First team I ever liked was Professor Sports
Calvin,
when I was a little
say something
kid.
to the young fella.
I
Please,
seen
please say
Joe
something to the
White
young
and
fella.
yeah,
Say
that's him.
something to the young fella, Calvin. Please help him.
I look, let her ask Calvin. Go ahead. She got to ask
Go
Calvin the
ahead,
question.
Calvin. Yeah.
Calvin. So how do you feel about him liking the Celtics and you two are the LA, but back to reality, do you think your show is going to make an impact on the world?
Yeah, we feel like that. I mean, the thing about it is, right, we know that we put a lot of emphasis on the DMV, but we also know that, no matter where you are, right, nothing changes. But, the slang the way you might wear your clothes changes. But we know that, let's take where you are, for example, like Boston, right? We know that everything we're discussing, from the drugs to the broken homes to what the youth are doing, that's all over the country and the world, really, but especially the United States, right? So we frame it in DMV, but we're not like limit. The message isn't limited though. Like the message is everywhere. We
Right.
just happen to be from DMV, and we happen to be using what we know best, right? Like and with the Celtics, I mean, I wasn't gonna go that route because see the thing is I'm older, so and I know I'm older than you, Jackie, because when you said you were the best with X, Y, and Z, Pierce and those guys. No, see, I lived in Boston in 84 to like 85, almost 86. I lived in Harvard Square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I went 1 year to a school called Cambridge Rindge and Latin School, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and I'm so old
Oh,
that
look at here.
when I was
Okay.
yeah
How old
when I
are you? Oh, I'm 45. Are you older than 45?
oh yeah I'm not look, I can tell you I'm 54 years old. So
Oh,
when
wow.
I was there, Coach Mike Jarvis was coaching Romeo Robinson, and I used to work at a place called Bartley's Burgers, a little burger joint in Cambridge, and so I was there because my mother was across the street at Harvard, right? So I experienced Boston. I heard
Good
about the
stuff.
war. Oh yeah. I heard about the war zone downtown. See, not being from Boston, I was advised not to go down there, right? Because the war zone was back then. We're talking 80s. So I know it's worse now because see, the crack wasn't out then,
Right.
right? So when I was there, up there it wasn't out. So what I'm saying, like, so I used to go to Roxbury though. I had a couple of cats from Roxbury that broke through those cracks, because Cambridge Rindge was an exclusive school back then.
Yes.
But a couple of cats broke through, right? And was going to Rindge, right? But I wasn't doing no work though. I was still flunking because I was trying to tie into Roxbury. So I know for a fact the type of crime and murder and mayhem that goes on in Boston. That's what I'm saying to close the question is, what you see Jerome and Boo and I doing, we've been enough places we know. See, the frame, it's just like if someone was doing something in Chicago, that's their essence. So their language and lingo is Chicago. But we in DC, like, oh shit, they doing that. They jacking and doing that here, right? So we just want you to know that we're not, especially if you come on the show, we're going to tie into you with some of the things that's happening there to show the youth in the DMV also to see you're not by yourself. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy world everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Right.
DMV is Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like.
can I say something real quick for both of these guys? And I'm glad to be doing this with these guys too because it's only gonna get better. You know, just like when we doing this our first show together, actually. You know, dialoguing with one another, and it's gonna get better because most most people don't have the mindset where they'll let people critique them in certain areas, but these guys do have that.
Oh
So
yeah, I feel it they were talking. When they were talking about the youth, and you could tell when someone's just saying it or really meaning it, and I could feel it. When they were talking about the youth, and that's why I'm strongly suggesting we need something like that, especially Boo Jones. You already got your foot in the door for something like this, and same with you, Jerome. You already, being the advocate and already doing this. So it's hard to, you know, keep on going with something, especially what your 9 to 5 is already dealing with this, and then coming home you're going to be dealing with it again. So it's like a part-time job on top of your full-time job, but it's like that can be draining, especially all the stuff you've seen. And it's like people need to start doing something about it, because if we don't make a change, like I say every day on my good mornings, pray for our world. We got to pray for our world. Our world is going crazy right now, and it's like we don't got NATO's not kicking in anything over there, stopping what's going on over there. It's like, NATO, that is your job. You're supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to prevent something before it happens, and all these innocent people are dying around the world, and it's sad. It's so sad that life is not promised today. And it's like, they laugh about it, and the stuff that's people's lives are being taken at such a young age, and houses being destroyed, the countries are being destroyed. And it's like, what can we do? And it's like, you know, it's like our heads are like ready to explode, because it's like no one's doing their job nowadays. That's what it seems like. It's like, really, who is really in charge? Is there anybody in charge? Or is it just a certain?
So, so I'd like to say on a note where, me and Calvin was having a conversation maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I was out in the streets as usual. I said, Calvin, I want you to see what I do on a daily, and I kind of like put him on video, and I just walk him through one of the spots that I was at the time, and of course Calvin ain't really new to this, but just to show him what I do on a daily, and that was just one location. It was kind of like, I guess in a sense, a little bit eye-opening for you, because you was like seeing like, oh my God, damn, you do this every day, so,
Right.
you can talk about it, but, when you actually see it, and, Calvin saw firsthand what guy was on the ground, and, he was out on the fentanyl or what have you. It was just crazy. I just mentioned that because I just,
hey,
and
let me cut in for a minute. I don't take it somewhere else for 1 second, man, because it is hard, to deal with that type of stuff. But I don't want to hold her up because she said she had to get to the hospital. So I
yeah,
want
yeah,
to,
yeah.
yeah. So we'll talk about that some other time.
No
But we
doubt, no
thank you
doubt.
for having us on. We thank you for having us on here.
Yeah.
Very welcome. You're welcome. He can finish what he wanted to say, because I kind of want to hear what he had to say about the fentanyl, if you don't mind, Boo Jones.
Yeah,
No,
but see, I don't, because he was at his job. We don't want to talk about nothing
Oh,
when you was at your job.
okay,
Nah,
yeah.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I was gonna bring up something. If I can't bring it up, let me know. But do you think that the methadone clinics are substituting for the crisis with the Percocet and Oxys that they took away, and then they substituted with the methadone? Do you guys feel that way, or can we not talk about that?
I mean, yeah, you can talk about that. We just talk about personal employment thing, but
So
yeah,
my question is, they used to give prescription for pain medicine, for Percocet, oxycodones, things like that, and
Jerome, come
now
down some, Jerome.
say what?
Oh no, I was trying to get Jerome back in the frame. He'd be back in there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was just moving up closer, so okay.
You're cool.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jackie.
So
I'm
my
sorry.
is so they they took away the Percocet, the oxycodone and cottons, and they make you go into a clinic, the methadone clinic. So my question is, I feel like well, my question and my answer is how I feel is that they took the Percocets, the oxycontins away, but then they gave everyone that was getting those into a methadone clinic, and then now they're hooked on that worse than anything, plus street drugs. How do you guys feel? We'll start with you, Calvin, and then we'll go to Jerome and then Bull Jones. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that they substituted and, um, for the Percocet and the oxycodones? Because you hear so many people on the methadone, and there's a city that I know that they have the clinic there, and they're having people overdose after they go to the clinic, and then they come back and they're taking transportation, passing out, overdosing, and on the transportation. This is a high, how would you say, a high increased problem since last year, and what they thinking it's the clinic. How do you feel about that around your areas? Because I know that they have them everywhere.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have a hot potato pass with this one, but I'm gonna get my idea. But I know that Rome and Boo definitely can tell you more about that because that's like their area. But just in general, I have come across some information that's saying that that methadone is just like being on the actual heroin itself. It's almost like the body reacts a certain negative way to it, and it's highly, highly addictive. So they're really just going from one thing to another. So, and people are getting sick off and things like that off it. So that's what I know. I don't know much about that, so I can't say much. But that's just my short term. I think they did just give them something else, man. I mean, they were already struggling, and then you gave them something else that gave them the illusion of taking something that's not as bad, but they all the way strung out on that. So I'm gonna pass the hot potato because that's all I can offer. But yeah, I think it's a substitute. So
Okay, and Calvin, give them all your information where they can contact you to book you, and if there's anything that we didn't bring up that you wanted to bring up, this is your time to talk, and any shout out you would like to give.
okay, well, I'm a basic guy. Best place to catch me would be probably Ruff2 RUFF2 production on IG, and then Calvin Ruffin the second on Facebook. That's fine. You just inbox me on that. Just the shouts. I want to shout everybody who's been supporting us, and you know who you are. So I don't want to start a list because then I'll leave somebody out and feel bad later on. So shout to everybody who's been supporting what we do at LDTV, the Go-Go Round Table, and soon to come the DMVers. And actually, I just want to enjoy myself with you. I wanted to enjoy the experience and what we were going to talk about here. And hopefully we can do it again.
Yes, definitely, and I look forward to coming on your new show. So let me know, and I'll be there definitely. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome, your turn. What I just asked Calvin about the situation. How do you feel about that with the clinics, and do you think that they kind of substituted like a Band-Aid type of thing?
I certainly do. We also fought in my particular neighborhood. I'm not going to say specifically, but we fought to get a methadone clinic out of our neighborhood, and we had a gallant fight, but somehow they won, and they got folks on a. What I don't like about it because it causes traffic where this location is. It's a lot of folks out there daily. But what I don't like is that the guy who owns the clinic, he actually charges the people for the methadone.
Yes.
So it's almost like he's making money off the people like he's a drug dealer. So I don't know how much sense that makes. If it's supposed to be something to help the people, you're supposed to be giving it away, I thought. So you're right. You are taking them from one drug to another, but then you're making money off of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it'd be loads of people every morning. It's like,
And they got to be
it's crazy.
at a certain time, or the doors are locked.
Exactly. And the guy charges them for the methadone. And, I'm not thrilled about that, but, what can you do? We did fight hard. We fought him off for years, and boom, he's up
Wow.
and running strong now. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, Jerome, coming on the Iccy Show. If there's any shout outs or anything we didn't bring up, this is your time to bring up and let them know your social media so they can contact you to book
They
you.
can just reach me on Facebook, Jerome A. Kennedy on Facebook. Inbox me if you need. Also, shout out to the DMV. You know, you know who you are. And that's about it. We just gonna keep on doing our shows. Hopefully you'll support us. Hopefully you'll watch us.
Yes,
And hopefully we can all learn from each other. And hopefully I can take somebody through a ride through the city on my show, Jerome A. Kennedy. Take a ride through the city. If you're ready, let me know.
I
We got a
like
spot for you.
I like that.
Hey,
To go through the
hey, we
city
might even
and
get you.
yeah,
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 yeah. I might have to
I
get
would
you
love
on there.
that.
That would be good. I'd like to get you on there.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I'd like to get you on there.
Yeah,
We just
definitely.
take
I
a
would
ride
love
through the
that.
city, but we can do the Boston version.
Yeah,
That
definitely,
would be good. I think that would be real good. Yeah, so
definitely,
I look forward to getting with you so we can talk offline about that.
definitely, definitely. I appreciate you, Jerome. Is there any shout outs you would like to give or anything we didn't bring up?
Just, shout out to the DMV, and that's all. And like I said, stay tuned, folks. We got quite a few shows coming up. So just stay tuned.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerome, coming on the Iccy Show. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And God bless. Definitely, your life is at stake every day, much blessings your way. You're doing a good job. So we need more people like you. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Boo Jones, the one and only, right here again on the Iccy Show. How do you feel about what I brought up about the clinics? Do you feel like they're taking over for the substitution of the pain medication?
Well, I've been working in the field for over 17 years now, but I've been in this fight for over 21 and a half years. I've been sober myself, and I've been living a dream over these years, and I learned a lot about the enemy, the addiction, and a lot of people don't know that it's a addiction problem, not a substance problem. You know what I'm saying? So they usually put a band-aid over a deep wound. Like it's no put it like this: there's no profit in the cure, right? So yeah, like Calvin said, they just the lesser evils. That's all it is, the lesser evils. So we're gonna take this to counteract this, but this highly addictive too. Just like when we watch those shows on TV and they say the side effects worse than the problem you have. So
Right,
it's
right.
the same
True that.
concept. It's the same concept with this, man. I see it all the time, and it's sad. And I just did this disclosure to let them know that the battle is not only theirs. It's a lot of people, man, that's on the front line in this battle, and people like myself, we just bless. We just bless. You know what I'm saying? It was only by the grace of God, that I know I'm sitting here. So, I know that these two guys can say the same thing. By God's grace, that we sitting here and then we have the opportunity to be in the fight. So
Well, I appreciate you. God bless you too. Your job's risky too. So, much blessings your way, and we thank you. 17 years is strong to be in something like this. Um, that's a lot of years, and I know sometimes it might have been stressful at home after you working and then coming home because certain things stick with you and they bother you, and you wake up another day, thank you God for another day, but it's your job is risky and we need more people like you guys in this field. And I thank you for all three of you coming on the Iccy Show. Definitely, um, if it wasn't for Boo Jones, I was gonna cancel, but I'm glad I didn't because I feel like this could touch a lot of people. And I'm thankful to meeting you two coming on the Iccy Show. And if there's anything I could do to, like I said, anybody goes missing or, you need something to be promote, just tag my page. Or,
Shout out to two people individually. Thank all you guys who support us and support us individually and collectively. But two guys that put all this together, God used to put this together, is my cousin, Chris Ledbetter, who introduced me to you, Iccy, right? And
yes.
then my man Doc Spencer, who introduced me to Calvin.
Wow. See,
So,
God works in mysterious ways.
see,
I feel like, things tumble next to you, but make you go into another path the way he wants us to work. And if we all can make a difference, I feel in my heart, like I always say, we are the ones to make a difference for this world. We need to go back the way when we were growing up. We could leave our doors unlocked, our windows unlocked. It doesn't need to go that safe, but so, our children are protected. That's what we need to go back to. All our children protected. And, you look out for your neighbor's kid. You make sure they're not doing right from wrong. If the parent's at work, and we need to go back to real love. We need more real relationship love out there. The fakeness can go out the door, but we need real love to bring families back. And I really feel that we need to, a lot of things are changing in schools. The teaching, the rainbow. I'm not going to go in that route because I know I do have friends that are lesbians, and it's just devastating when our children are going to school. They're supposed to learn about social security, social studies, math, science, but they're learning about a flag for something else. And that then our children are not going to graduate learning about that. They need to learn the social studies. They need to learn the math and science, all of that. And it's sad how this world is coming, but like I said, we need to come back together. Thank you, Miss BK. We got Legal Mob Entertainment, Miss BK, CEO, Wu-Tang Management in the building. I appreciate you. Salute. We got Antoine in here, Scott's in here. I feel like
Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang.
a lot of people uh, um, they're not understanding what's going on. Take it, anyone that has a child in school, this is what I need you guys to do, is check what's going on. What is your children learning while they're in school? Ask if they're learning about stuff that they shouldn't be learning. Like, we already got the DARE program, sex education taken away from them, but actually really when that was a main health, sex education was a health under health. And that was mandatory. You need to pass that to order to go to the next class, grade. So my question is, what is our children really learning in school? Make sure you guys check. Parents are doing a lot of TikToks on what is really going on in these schools when your kid is at school. And, a lot of rights are being taken away from parents too. So that's it's sad. And they're getting younger and younger that they can prosecute a kid in school. 13 years old is the age. And I think that's way too young. They're still developing in the head. They don't know right from wrong. Still, their body's going through, becoming a teenager. So all the hormones are going crazy. They don't take that in consideration. So there's a lot of things. And I really feel that, check with your kids, see, like Miss BK said, check with your kids. You got to check on your kids to see what is going on in the classrooms and, outside, because everything is switching. They want, I don't judge nobody, whatever you are, that's thing, but they're trying to make, if you're straight, to switch. And I don't think that should be right. I think we all are independent people. If I want to like somebody, I can like them, but don't force it on the children. That's what is crazy, how they're enforcing stuff at a younger age and saying that's okay when the parents are the ones that could say right from wrong, what they, believe or anything. And I don't discriminate on nobody, but I really feel like, as a parent, I should have the right over my child, what they're actually learning. They should be learning math, science, social studies, everything what you need to graduate, not learning about a new flag that is not educating. Just, you know, it could be assembly. It doesn't need to be on the everyday learning in school on something like that. That's my opinion. But you really got to check on your children. Just like Miss BK, she said it's getting real out here. Yeah, it is. It is. It's sad.
Yeah, it's getting real out here for sure.
Well, I appreciate every one of you that came on the Iccy Show, everyone that tuned in on this Iccy Show this evening, on this Monday evening. God bless everyone. This is interview 609 interviews I've done in 5 years. Salute to these three men here, and I appreciate you all coming on the Iccy Show. Boo Jones, I appreciate you. And make sure you follow their show when it drops. It's supposed to be by the end of this year. 2024 is right around the corner. You know, let's make 2024 better than 23. We are the ones to make the change, all positive. You know, that's important. And salute to any real family out there that is really staying there for their children. And, you know, the real love right there, you know, keep it going. Definitely much love and respect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you, Calvin, Jerome, Boo Jones. I salute to every one of you. Much love and respect from the Iccy Show. Anytime you need me on your show, inbox me, and I'd love to come on your show.
All right.
All right.
Peace, love,
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
respect, everyone.
Nice to
And
meet you, Jack.
all the prayers from my uncle. I appreciate that. Definitely. It's been hell of
Yeah,
a
definitely
last couple.
prayers for your uncle. Prayers for your uncle.
Thank you, thank you. It's crazy. You don't even know. They had my uncle as a John Doe in the hospital at a big hospital in Boston under a John Doe getting transferred from another hospital, and they told me he was dead, and he wasn't dead. And that hospital should be ashamed of yourself. There's two hospitals, Holy Family Hospital in Haverhill, Massachusetts. They should be shut down. My uncle, I've been telling him, they told me he had a heart attack. I've been telling him he had a stroke. He sits there, doesn't even know what you're saying to him. He has all the stroke, just his side is not lopsided. They told me they tested him. He went from that hospital to the rehab. The rehab told me they never tested him for a stroke. Now that's 2 weeks that went by that, you know, they never tested him for a stroke. Here he is at the rehab, stopped breathing, went cold, blue, and they rushed him to another hospital. He went from that hospital. They called me to tell me he's on the life support machine because I'm his healthcare proxy. Do I shut the machine off or keep him going? I said, of course, keep him going. Like, why would I, you know, he fought for our country. He's a vet. Why would I let him go just like that? And then from that hospital, he got transferred to another hospital in Boston. I've been trying to find out if I'm his healthcare proxy, why can't I find out where my uncle is? Find out he's in Boston Hospital, which is a half hour, 45 minutes from where he was. And they did procedures on him. And then they got him listed as John Doe in the hospital when he got transferred from one hospital on the life support machine to a major hospital in Boston, Beth Israel Hospital. And they have him as a John Doe. I talked to 7 nurses today, and they told me he died and he wasn't even dead. Imagine that. Over an hour, I'm trying to find out if my uncle's alive or not. So it's been like a hectic day. And the last couple of days has been stressful. Getting calls in the middle of the night from the hospital asking to do this procedure because he's going declining. He only had a blood pressure of 56 over 24 or something like that.
Go see about him. Prayers with you because you're going through a lot of emotional trauma right there. So
Yeah.
definitely prayers with you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all coming on the Iccy Show. God bless every one of you. Much love and respect from the Iccy Show. And I look forward to coming on your show. Much love.
All right.
Look forward to it.
And I'm proud of you, Boo Jones. Keep it going. I'm glad you're doing something like this. This is a major. You know, I'm proud of you guys stepping up the plate and doing this. This is I love it. I love it. Definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome. Peace, love, and respect, everyone.
All righty.
Peace.